Welcome, beautiful, divine, awakened soul. Thank you for joining me, Mystic Mia, here on We'll See in the Moment for another monthly energy forecast reading. We're looking at the energies for the month of December and this very explosive time at the end of 2024. We're going to look at four main energies through this month, and we're expecting some big things here. So I'm going to look at the energy. I'm going to see how it looks for you in your life, and then how it looks for the collective, and then Spirit's message for that energy. So let's get started. What's this first energy? Ascended Masters, create open communication. All right, so we've been kind of looking at this energy where highly spiritual folks, people who are really highly intuitive, have tapped into their intuitive gifts, are further along in their journey, kind of the way showers of this awakened wave, are becoming more intuitive, are becoming more psychic, and they're able to connect with their higher guidance as if they're just on the other side of a phone call. So this is something that's going to be opening up for a lot of highly intuitive people, those who are further along their journey, have been kind of tapping in to their intuition. This is going to affect the whole collective, where you're going to see the awakening folks start to connect with their intuition a little bit more. But those that are, ahead of the curve are definitely going to be connecting with their higher guidance as if they're just talking to them, as if they're just on the other side of the phone call, and they're going to be connected to their inner guidance on a more consistent basis as they step into the 5D, holding that 5D way of thinking consistently. So they're going to be connected to their higher guidance more consistently. So that's the energy we're tapping into right now, just being more connected to the other side, to the divine energies, cosmic tones of light. So you're going to see this in multiple different ways. With people, you're going to see the collective, whether they're on their journey already or about to enter their healing spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it. I just like to use the terms that people are familiar with. But you're going to see people start connecting to their intuition. But this energy that is coming onto the earth, affecting humans by connecting to their psychic abilities, their, third eye, their sixth sense, to the energies around them, the unseen forces. That's just one way that we will be able to experience this amount of energy coming onto the earth. We'll also see it in other ways. We'll be able to see it through light. This matrix is created from light. What we see through our eyes, the way we kind of interact with our external world, is light. So you're going to be able to see there's going to be something different with the way we interact with the matrix. Like even like the colors, the lighting of this world is going to change. It kind of reminds me of when I went to Sedona last year. And I'm from the Northeast, right? Like we have all four seasons. We get plenty of snow. And the sun effect, the lighting of the sun is different in the different seasons. But when I went to Sedona, like the sun hit different. I don't know what it was, like the refraction, or just because of like the dust that comes floating into the air, or the red rocks that are around. It's just the sun hits harder there because it's closer to the equator or something. It's just drier there. The atmosphere is a little bit different, but the sun is so much more blinding over there. And the color is slightly different too. And so it just kind of reminds me of that. It's just like the way that we see our physical reality, the matrix, is going to change. Like when you start awakening, your senses heighten, right? Your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, all your senses, including your sixth sense, your intuitive abilities. So as the collective wakens up and start connecting to their intuition more, like it's gonna allow us to interact with our environment differently. And as I was saying, in one of my my theories, one of the articles I wrote, that physical matter, the physical realm, is always going to be just as it is. It's just our perspective and how we comprehend this physical world that changes. So it could be like, oh, mystical, magical things, and then science, and maybe we see it through this kind of science, and now we see it from that kind of science, and just, it's like all these things are valid. All these different perspectives of how you see this physical thing is valid. It's just depending on our level of consciousness. So as we expand our consciousness, so does our perspectives. We're able to see this physical realm in more ways than just one, or the ways that we did before. Not to say that they were wrong, they're just, you can add on other ways to see this dimension. So that's what I'm kind of getting. It's kind of like we're going to be able to see more of this world. And I mentioned in recent monthly readings that a part of this is going to be seeing other mystical beings, entities, creatures that our ancestors were able to see a long time ago. We're going to be able to see certain things again. The energy around plants and people and animals, like the aura, we're going to be able to see the aura of things a little bit more. So that's the energy I'm getting is coming in at the beginning of December. We have 2 new moons in December, and the month starts off with a new moon, and I predicted that that's when there's going to be so much information that comes through, not just in the public world sphere, but also individually as downloads, a lot of clarity. And it's going to be easy to put 2 and 2 together, what's happening in the world and what's happening with your inner guidance and the clarity you're getting. And you're going to be able to figure out your next steps and how to pursue your soul mission or this next chapter in your life. It's going to be easy to put it together. In December, you're going to get overwhelmed with the amount of information that comes in, that you're going to take it easy a little bit and take some time, probably the winter or the next few months, to just kind of plan things out well. All right, so what does this look like for you, beautiful divine soul? Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, leader. So I am getting, a lot of people are coming into their true authentic self. For those who are just awakening, they still kind of have to go through that journey to kind of be more comfortable being in their authentic self, figuring out what their true authentic self is. And it's hard to do that when you don't know what authenticity is, when you look out into the world and you don't know what's real, what's not, what's fake, and what's, the truth. So it's kind of like a discernment journey. That's the healing, the spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot of people who are awakening and figuring out what authenticity even looks like and what it is, and before even trying to encapsulate it, right? But you, beautiful soul, beautiful light worker, you are way past that on your journey, further along in that in your journey. For those of you who are leading this wave, leading this awakening, you're stepping into your true authentic self now. You probably have been this year, and even more recently these past few months, and even more recently these past few weeks. So this, you can see that like you're stepping more and more into your authentic energy. And just by being you, you're going to lead. You're going to see people like gravitate towards your energy just because they like what they see. They see the authenticity exuding off of you, and they're attracted to that. It's what they want, and they're gonna look to you and many others like you who are authentic to kind of teach them how to be authentic, right? And you don't have to do anything, but just be yourself. You might see that you have social media, your social media number climbs. You might not even be trying. You might not even like the limelight, or you might not even like fame. You might be thinking of some sort of other soul mission, that's some charity work or some sort of business or project. But lo and behold, the first thing that happens when you step into this like 5D energy more strongly is that you start getting people attracted to you because of your light. So at this time, beautiful light worker, you're going to see that your light is shining. Before you were kind of protected, before you were kind of, your light was kind of veiled, just so you can finish this journey to get to this point. I'm talking about people who are kind of ahead of this energy. So you're going to see this sooner rather than later. You can start to see this in December. You're probably going to see a lot of people like you can see the horizon on the social media platforms. The landscape of the social media platforms change. The influencers who were not in their authentic energy, being fake, just doing it for money, for clout, for whatever, who are burnt out, not listening to their heart or not anymore, kind of be exchanged with those who are exuding true authentic energy without even trying. Even if you don't want to, this is going to happen around your family, even if you're not on social media, around your family, around your neighborhood, around your friends, and wherever you go, where your workplace, the gym, the grocery store, wherever you are at, this is going to start happening whether you want to or not. You've been prepped for this, so you kind of knew this was going to happen. Four of Swords. Interesting. Also, but don't be like alarmed. Like, this is just, you're going to get a taste of it in December. Those who are kind of ready to kind of step into this limelight, to kind of have their light that they've been building up and up and up, behind the scenes, kind of be unveiled. So it starts in December, but it's going to, go into the next year, the next few years, the next couple of decades for those who are just awakening. But for those who are ahead of the wave, those light workers who have been on the journey for a long time, who've done their work, you're going to take time to rest. Don't worry. Like, this is going to start, like, you're going to start noticing this, but you're going to have time to rest in December, Spirit is saying. Eight of Swords, yeah. So when the same suit comes up, doubled and in reverse, it's amplifying the Four of Swords for me. So it's telling me that you are going to rest in December, but it's not like you're not going to notice that people are noticing your light more. You might be thinking, like, what's different? I'm the same person as I was like a few days ago, a few weeks ago, a few months ago, a few years ago. Of course, you've done a lot of inner work and probably done a lot of purging, releasing, and, growing still in that time. But you're like, I'm still the same person. Why am I getting so much? Why am I getting noticed so much more now? It's just because your light has been kind of veiled and now it's being unveiled. So you're just going to get a glimpse of that now, but you're also being told to kind of rest. All right, so what's happening for the Just Awakening Collective, people who are just beginning their spiritual journey or not awakened yet? Nourishment. So you're going to see, we talk about when you go through like a awakening, or when you start your spiritual or healing journey, the first thing you might notice in your physical habits is that you kind of want to eat healthier, whatever that means for you. More whole foods, more like real food, less packaged foods, eating more on a schedule, or eating more home cooked meals, incorporating more like vegetables and fruit and green juices and whatever it is, like, that's what tends to happen, right? So you're going to see a lot of the collective kind of move that way. It kind of makes sense because of all the changes that are happening with the food industries here in the US, which also is going to indicate that, the rest of the world is also going to go through a major health conscious change. wanting to be more healthier. And there's a ton of people who've been on this health craze for decades, but it's going to be more of a conscious world effort where people are going to be using, like, this has been kind of proven, better farming techniques, less chemicals in growing food, of movement, and, getting people encouraged, motivated to eat healthier with like new recipe ideas, people wanting to enjoy foods from other cultures, listening to their body. There's so many natural techniques to eat healthier, something that aligns with your body type, what the ancestry, the lineage that you come from, but also eating more local and where you live now, for the climate that you live now. Like, there's so much out there that is just ready to be tapped into and for people to kind of like implement in their own life. I feel like there's so much work that has been done that it's going to be so much easier for people to kind of get into a healthy lifestyle now than before, when people were kind of figuring this kind of stuff out or digging this stuff up from their past cultures, from the past when people were healthier, just kind of digging up things that we've already known and kind of, or figuring things out how it applies to our modern world. Okay, so Princess of Swords. And like the Page of Swords here. Sorry, the Knight of Swords. I do feel like with the Ton of Swords energy, there's a lot of information coming in. So prepare for December to be just filled with so much information on a personal scale, through downloads from your inner guidance, but also from the external, with truths being revealed and coming out. Okay, so the Princess of Swords and 10 of Wands, 10 of Waves, let go. I'm getting this energy of, so the Awakening Collective, the collective that kind of is on social media, that has to tell everyone their opinions and feelings, and kind of, not know how to like deal with their emotions or healing just yet, and are kind of like, their spirits are screaming to get healed, but they don't know how, so they just shout at the world, getting mad at things, getting mad at other people because they don't know the techniques and how to heal themselves and what that means for them, and that core issue, the core wound that's coming up for them. And it just keeps piling on and on and on. It's like kind of static, and they're just kind of, their body is just filled with so much static. So you're going to hear a lot of people just start complaining. And in a good way, like, why didn't we know about this before? But this is good. They're getting angry, and anger, when used correctly, the way that anger is supposed to be used is to kind of propel you to take a course of action that changes what hasn't been working before. And we see that there's a lot of people have been kind of yelling without healthy action, because they're not aligned to their truth. They're not taking aligned action. They're just yelling because that's how they can kind of heal temporarily. It's like a Band-Aid. When you yell at someone, like, for example, when someone gets mad at you and you turn around and go yell at someone else, like, that's kind of a Band-Aid. It heals you for a second, because it allows for temporary relief, but then it just kind of adds on to the underlying cause, the underlying wound that you're not addressing, right? So people have been just kind of yelling because it gives them temporary relief. And now you're going to see people actually get angry in the right way, and there is a right and wrong way to get angry or to use your anger. You can't control what emotions come up, but you can control how you react to it, right? So there's a right way to use your anger, which is to kind of align yourself up with the right action, with the healthy action that actually addresses the underlying cause, not just throwing negative energy and chaos into the world, right? So you're going to see people change from just being like crazy people yelling on social media who can't handle their emotions and they're just like spiritually, emotionally immature. Change to kind of having a healthy discourse about initially health. I think we're going to start, the healing starts with getting on a common topic, you know? And so food, health, that's something that's like kind of across the board, easy for people to kind of go along with, you know? It serves the individual. If someone's narcissistic and very egotistical, it makes you healthy. And it makes your family healthy and your friends and neighbors if you're a caring individual and empathic and sensitive. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are on politically, or even if you're apolitical. It's just it's something that affects everyone and everyone can get on board with, right? All right, so lastly, to wrap up this message, Spirit's message, what's Uranus guidance want to say? You are invited. Suit up, show up, and open up. So I do feel like you're going to get a lot of invitations, beautiful soul, to kind of speak. So there's going to be people, so, you know, you can have both of these energies depending on where you are on your spiritual journey. The more further along you are, you're going to resonate more with the top energy, and the more closer you are to just starting your spiritual journey, it's going to be this bottom one that you resonate with. Because even if you're a very highly spiritual person further along in your journey, you're probably going to still have a change in diet or a change in your health regimen that positively suits you. But you're not going around yelling at people and telling people, lecturing people or whatever. You know, you might share what you know, but you're going to be invited because it feels like you have this wisdom, you have this light. Light is wisdom already about all these things because you've already started this journey. You're already further along. So people might ask because you might correct them, or you might be like, oh, this is a better solution or whatever. So you might be asked to share your opinion. You're going to be invited to social engagements. You're going to see that people are interested in what you have to say in conversation more now, like the normies, than ever before. Your friends and family, past friends, neighbors, people who might have not been more inclined to have deeper conversations are going to want to hear from you. You're going to be kind of surprised at how much you're speaking more now, you know? Whereas before you might be avoiding people who might not get it or understand or have as much insight as you do in these things because you've been on the journey, because you've done your homework and your research and your healing. All right, and lastly, advice from your higher self. Gentle moderation. Take your time. Pressure from others or yourself can be released by renegotiating what you are trying to accomplish. So there's going to be some opportunities for some people that come through for you, Lightworker, that you might not want to give up on because like, oh yeah, that is a kind of job opportunity or relationship opportunity or whatever, like living situation opportunity or social circle of some kind, a charity opportunity that you really, really resonate with. And you're like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. But you just switched into this energy. And so you're exhausted, you're tired, you're trying to get your footing and you kind of want to take your time. And Spirit is even encouraging you, like, yeah, take your time, rest, take this, take your time to plan things out well. Don't dive into something like immediately. But there might be opportunities that come along for you, beautiful soul, that you might want to, because this is what you want to do. This is your career opportunity. This is your relationship opportunity. This is the thing you know you want to do it. Take your time. If you need more time, say it. Ask for it. Renegotiate your contract. Put up your expectations, your boundaries at the beginning of the relationship or beginning of whatever situation, because I do feel like the old you would want to just jump in and do it exhausted, but the new you is listening to your inner guidance that is saying, take your time. Tell them what you want and your expectations, and have them meet you like halfway, at the least. And it goes for social engagements as well. If you want to, it's like, yeah, I can't this month, just busy, just so busy, crazy busy. I can come out, once or twice, but a few times, but I have to get back to work, or I have to, take care of some stuff, personal goals, whatever. Like, put up your boundaries in December for sure. All right, so next energy, let's see. Moving into the middle of December, what can you expect? Kundalini rising. Ignite your passion for life. So as this like intense amount of energy is coming onto the planet, and it has been all year, you're gonna feel more passionate. More people are going to connect to the things that they're passionate about. And this is going to come out in their creative pursuit. You're going to see a lot of people get online and do like online karaoke, or start singing, or taking lessons for playing an instrument, or learning to paint, or learning to do whatever they wanted to always do. Woodworking, calligraphy, painting. Yeah, we said that. Just whatever it is, crocheting, pottery, photography, editing videos, like whatever it is, design skills, building skills, whatever kind of creative outlet you have, like you're going to see like a huge uptick in that business. Like, believe me, there's going to be a huge uptick in very creative and very intuitive businesses starting in December. Okay. And sacred geometry of the soul. A lot of people are going to realize that like whatever chakra was lacking energy, it wasn't like fully powered up or healed, cleansed, or blocked. It was just blocked or whatever. You're going to see like people kind of evening out. So you're going to see people want to get balanced. So if you had a crappy diet, you're going to see a lot of people get more healthier. If people are antisocial, they're going to get more social. If people, didn't read as much or educate themselves, they're gonna read and educate themselves more. People who are yapping more nonsense, they're gonna see them shut up and go, become more of a recluse or hermit. I mentioned this in the previous monthly reading, so if you want to hear more about that. But like a lot of people basically who are just kind of just saying too much, when like who are gonna realize that they made a mistake and what they're putting out there, because it was not true or not authentic or just not right. They're gonna like really go in within themselves, and these are people who aren't awakened yet. They're a little bit more superficial. They don't really have haven't been thinking really deeply, or kind of making choices that are more egotistical, selfish, and not really helpful to others. They're going to go in a little bit more and start thinking about these things. They might be feeling embarrassed, ashamed, or they might just initially feel like, I don't want to lose more customers or more money or more viewers. I'm going to like hide myself a little bit. You're going to see a lot of people go into hiding that have been putting out like not the best stuff for the collective, whether that's in the music industry, whether that's just even on YouTube, or people who are in whatever industry, in religious areas of even the spiritual community, or even in like fast food restaurants, or even like whatever it is, like medical industry, just anything, anyone, like motor vehicle companies, like anything, like just if they haven't putting out crap, you're gonna see some people start to kind of hide, because they know what's coming. They know, their soul at least, their energy knows, like there's a lot of things that they're gonna have to work through. But for the average Joe that is just awakening, it's just kind of more emotional stuff that they had to deal with. They might be like good people at heart, who hard workers. They just kind of got caught up in all this, fears of the matrix kind of thing. But there's some people who have deliberately made bad choices that hurt people, and so they're gonna start going in, and it can be on all levels. You're going to see that. But you can see a lot of people balancing out. And then also, while that happens, when you start balancing out, you're going to clean and line up your chakras. You're going to start connecting to your higher self. You're going to start connecting to your true, authentic self. And more creative things are going to come through. So how is this going to look for you, beautiful soul? Play, have fun, celebrate. Don't be so serious. That's interesting. Both your initial cards, beautiful soul, came out in reverse. So I do feel like you kind of like see all these things happening for you, but you kind of want to do it alone in December because it's just like so much happening, so much coming through. Even though it's all good stuff, it's just like a lot, you know? And a lot of light workers have been alone or mostly alone for an extended period of time going on their journey. So it's just kind of, I don't know how to even tell you at this point. You just know, take your time with things. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So you're going to be able to play. You're going to get into your creative energies. Light workers, more so than others, are going to be the one taking on like at least 5, if not like 10, like creative projects this winter. Like watch. And from everything. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it's time. So as those who are stepping into 5D, and by stepping into 5D, I mean like being able to hold 5D energy or way of thinking consistently, stably. The first thing you do is you just want to play and have fun and be creative and be able to do the things that you've always wanted to do. I mentioned in one of my previous readings that like most light workers, like most people, haven't been in that high frequency 5D kind of energy consistently since they were kids. If you had a healthy, at least somewhat healthy childhood and you played, like that was the last time a lot of folks have been in that high frequency energy consistently. You know, so it's going to feel like that. You're going to feel like playing a lot and enjoying the activities that you do. And you're going to start thinking that way too. Like, what can I do that I can enjoy and I can have more fun with? Instead of just doing inner work all the time. You know, even getting healthy and working out is kind of work. You know, even working on your connections with others. And even though it feels good to do inner work and heal, it's all work. You know, so you have to make time to play. And for a lot of us, it's going to revert us back to kind of a childlike energy, because that's the only way we know how to interact with this 5D energy at first, is to just kind of be creative and playful. And it's a great way to start. Okay, and Queen of Cups. Yeah, so you're definitely going to have the energy of connecting to your higher self and connecting to the energies in a different way. So as you step into the more 5D energy, more high frequency way of thinking, there is this energy of connecting to your intuition differently. So we see here that you're going to be connecting to your higher guidance more consistently, almost like as soon as you want to connect, your higher self is there. Like before, there was a lot of like your spirit team would kind of leave for a while or disconnect from you just so you can like rely on your own intuition and not just like ask spirit or your higher self or your spirit team or your ancestors or whoever for answers and advice all the time. That you can like learn to do it for yourself, learn to discern for yourself and all this kind of stuff, right? But now you're at a point where you have discernment and you're just going to be like an unlimited well of inspiration and ideas because you're going to be consistently connected to a source. So I'm getting, but it's the Queen of Cups, not the Ace of Cups. So I am getting that you're going to be connecting to your higher self because you're connecting to your 5D self. You're merging you're merging back into your higher self a little bit more. Your higher self is merging with you more, your spirit is merging with your higher self more. However you want to see it, you know, you're merging with your higher aspect a little bit more. So the way that you might relate to these really high frequency, really loving, awesome, positive energies is being playful. And it's about time. It's completely natural at this time to be in that energy. It's going to lead to planning and stuff in the very near future. Don't worry. Okay, so it's important to just play. Like spirit is like emphasizing that it's important to just connect to your higher self and this 5D energy in this positive way first. And then, I mean, there is no other way than positive, but like, it's important to just take your time to connect to these 5D energies and get like a footing in these energies for you, light worker. And what about for the rest of the collective, or what collective that's not awakened yet, or just awakening, or just started their journey? Darkness, dark night of the soul for the collective. We talked about this. We're expecting it. And so you can see that light workers are getting ready to be in the spotlight, to be out in the external world more, to be in more public figure, to be, using their energies in the physical realm. Whereas the awakening collective are choosing to kind of go through this collective dark night of the soul. All right, so what is it going to look like for them moving in through December? King of Cups in reverse, which is really interesting because the Queen of Cups is here for you. You're connecting to your creativity, your, spiritual, your energies more in the more feminine way, the spiritual, intuitive, and creative way at this time of December. Whereas the rest of the collective want to, but they just don't know how to yet, or feels very uncomfortable because they haven't been connecting to their intuition. It feels wrong. It feels counterintuitive. It's uncomfortable. I don't like this energy. I'm feeling their energy. I don't like it. So it makes them feel like kind of not great, because it's like they have so much emotion. They have so much energy building up. They don't know how to release it properly. They don't know how to heal it properly. They don't know how to use it properly. It's going to be like, I'm getting like the static energy is like building, Epsom salt baths, they work. 7 of Clouds, distance focus. That's the 7 of Cups. They can't focus. They don't know. They don't understand what's happening. They don't know how to really kind of relate. And you can't really force the collective to do anything. They have to kind of naturally find it on their own. They have to naturally find the light. They have to naturally go to the divine by themselves. Every person who has started their spiritual journey, or most people who started their spiritual journey in their lifetimes, because some people come connected, had to find light, and they had to go through a lot of darkness in order to want to seek something else that they couldn't perceive before, something unseen, something like a higher power. They're gonna have to find the light, so this is like the collective wanting to do that together. So it's gonna look more scary than it might have for like you individually, because it's happening like in your whole country or the whole world. It's gonna look kind of like more scary and kind of like what's happening, but that's just because they're going through like the collective awakening. They're going through this kind of dark night of soul together. Okay, so what does your higher self want you to know about this energy? Be reborn daily. Let go of the past and breathe in your new incarnation. So Spirit's like, don't even worry about what's happening out there. We've got this message so many times that it's gonna look bad out there, and because you're so empathic and kind, you might want to help people, but that might just delay their journey. Like they have to do this on their own anyway, and you might just cause more cognitive dissonance and like kind of delay their coming around to finding a higher power, finding the light. So at this point, you're just supposed to focus on you coming into the 5D. That's it. And enjoy the journey. Yeah. So there's so many like good things happening for you, and it's like, don't focus on the past or the future. Again, this card says that too. Like, don't think about the past or the future or what's happening out there. Just focus on being in the moment, having fun, and just kind of getting comfortable with 5D energies. It's so vitally important, Lightworker, that you just get comfortable with 5D energy at this time. All right, so let's see what's happening further into December, towards the end of December. I'm trying to beat the sunset. The sunset's gonna happen soon. And let's see. I like to use natural light, so let's see what happens. Okay, so spiritual evolution. Set your heart free. Yeah, this is a huge time for the collective consciousness to evolve. This is a very, very important and pivotal time for our collective consciousness that we all chose to evolve to take a huge giant step this December. That's why a lot of people have been talking about, like, December is going to be huge. The end of 2024 is like big things are going to happen. You're going to see something happen in December for sure. The divine rising. I mean, it's kind of energy of like, enough is enough. You know, like, there's so many times that things were delayed, and it's like kind of like, all right, let's keep going until we get make it as comfortable for as many people as possible. Let's go one more round to make it more comfortable for more people. Let's bring more star seeds in. Let's bring more, energy in. Let's reduce energy. Let's split this energy up to come onto the planet like slower. Maybe let's do it in 3 days. Let's slow down the pulses. You know what? It's time. Let's just do intense pulses of energy, and at this time, the collective energy, like our souls, are just like, no, we try to make it as comfortable for as many people as possible. Like, we just got to do it now, So what does this look like for you, beautiful soul? Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So you're going to definitely have some upgrades. For some people, that's going to look like your intuitive abilities coming on stronger, or more intuitive abilities coming on. Remembering past life knowledge and skills and mastery, remembering humanity's true history, or connecting to the Akashic record net more strongly, where you can download like different kinds of information about the past. I'm getting that's going to happen a lot. Like, I'm getting a lot of people are going to be able to channel ancient texts and wisdom and histories and put it out. And I feel like people aren't going to, like, too many people are going to not believe it at first, because it's like, oh, you don't have the physical evidence. But the people who are going to be able to connect to the Akashic really well, like, it's going to be like uncanny. Like, the details are going to be like so very specific and like can be proven in other ways, kind of thing. Kind of like QHHT, also connecting to people's higher self. Yeah. Not just channeling. Something else. What are you showing me? It's going to be different for different people. Different gifts. I mean, there's telepathy and telekinesis and all these kind of other things that are talking to animal. Like, there's all these things that people can do kind of mildly. And some of the more physical powers are going to be like more difficult to master. It's going to be like the master of masters that kind of be able to kind of take that on. But for this wave, the leaders of this wave, my wave, these energetic upgrades, the awakening, 10 of Cups, and the awakening came out in reverse too. This is kind of like the next level awakening, right? This is where you awaken into the 5D. And this is kind of where you enter this like kind of blissful energy, connecting to the right people, soul family, connecting to the right opportunities, being very abundant, being very used to being content, and you're happy, joyous, and peaceful. Finally, peace is coming in to stay for a very long time. 6 of Swords. Okay. I feel like there's going to be a lot happening underneath the surface. Like, I feel like you're going to be like astral traveling, or I feel like you're going to be like entering other dimensions and stuff like that in your dream state, or when you're meditating, or you're going to learn some new method to be able to just kind of travel in that way or connect in that way while you're laying down or something like that. That has come up in my readings in the past, where you're going to be able to kind of spend some time on the other side in higher dimensions more often. Interesting that came up again. Okay, and then for the collective, awakening collective, creation in reverse. Yeah, I'm getting the ultimate creator. I feel like a lot of people are going to start questioning, like they're going to start questioning things, and their curiosity is going to start peaking about how things were created, how things came to be. I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to even think about those things. They're just so, wrapped up in like their own world, like looking good, having money, showing off to other people, feeling pleasure and all this stuff. And it's just like have you thought about like how things are created? Do you have your natural curiosities on? Like for me, I knew this was my path because that's all I questioned. Like even before career or relationships, like it was my questions like that I wanted to know was like, does God exist? Do ETs exist? And what happens when you die? And before even college, like even when I was a kid, like I was more interested in the spiritual stuff, right? And even going into college, I'm like, I don't even care about this. Even with like relationships, like I don't even care about people. Like I just want to know these questions, and like, like I just want to know how, like these big questions that I have and similar questions, and I found them, So like, I feel like there's like kind of this like philosopher that people are finding within themselves, which makes sense for Pluto entering Aquarius, just kind of challenging things, seeing things from a different perspective, looking at things with a unique lens, looking at things from a higher mind, trying to engage with our reality in different ways. What does it all mean? We know that like technology is going to play a big part in the next couple of decades. How technology just mirrors nature or the divine. Like the best technology in the world is our human bodies, and every technology that's out there is a reproduction of something we already have, right? So like there's just like so much going on with people kind of finding a higher power, whatever that is for them, however that looks for them. And you're going to see people kind of saying weird things. Like you'll just be having a conversation with them, and they're like, do you think dogs could talk to cats or something? That, like, questions that you probably asked when you were starting your journey, or, the curiosities you had as a kid. You're going to see people kind of like have that kind of curiosity come out of them, and they're just going to start saying weird things, and they're going to seem like a broken robot or something like that. But it's just like, or like, I'm getting kind of that AI movie, but with like Robin Williams. Was it Artificial Intelligence? No, Bicentennial Man. Like just kind of like question, like a robot that's just awakening. Like, why does this bug kind of run along here? Why does this plant grow in this way? Or why do people lie to each other? Like, like you're going to start seeing that kind of energy, folks. Material success. A lot of their questioning, as you can see, a lot of people who aren't awakened at all, even now, are kind of the folks that are very superficial, or have the tendency to kind of just stay on that side of their thoughts. Who look at just pornographic images, money as status symbols, as not caring how they come off to others, or being very rude, or not really engaging their minds and hearts in a healthy and appropriate way. A lot of, and I mentioned this in a previous reading, but like a lot of people who are questioning all these things, they're gonna start questioning the things that they put so much value on before, material things that they put so much value on before, and kind of start looking at like, oh, like the more important things in life, the connections with others, the connection with the divine, nature, things like that. The the drought, and it came out in reverse. Yeah. So it's so weird. Like, it's just going to be just addressing the shadow aspect of the collective, but like the things at the top, like the superficial of the superficial things, that's the thing that's going to be attacked at first, which is why you're going to see such a huge change in public figures and everything, in media and news outlets, in like bloggers and video bloggers and people who write articles, and even like YouTube and social media. That's why there's going to be such a huge flip so quickly, because it's going to be like the surface level stuff that starts off this kind of awakening. Why do you think the music industry was the first thing that was, uncovered about the truth? Like, more people care about, that kind of stuff, music and like celebrities and people with like money, and that were, kind of showing off, kind of like people who abused their power for superficial, egotistical reasons, or in dark ways too, right? And so that's what the least awakened folks gave their energy to, and these energies that were really dark knew it and used it and manipulated people to kind of feed that dark energy. So it's going to be that kind of energy, the most superficial stuff, the dark things that people gave their energy to, wanted to, are interested in, that starts off this whole thing. Okay. All right, so Spirit's message for you. What would you do? What would your higher self do? Your divinity is you are divinity in blue jeans. Couldn't even read that. Message from your higher self is like, what would they do? This is from Spirit. What would your higher self do? Let's get a message from them. What would your higher self do? Shedding the old. Sometimes you just kind of have to let people do what they need to do, I got a lot of message that when this starts happening, that, you might not even want to watch it go down. It might just kind of, it might be all stuff that you already know, or stuff that like, just kind of pulls your energy down, and you're going into 5D energy. So you might see some stuff here and there, might be a little bit interesting here and there, but kind of like staying away from all of it generally, and just letting the collective go through what they need to go through, and just recognizing what it is. And that's positive. And your higher self is like literally guiding you to just stay in that 5D energy. Just stay in that high frequency energy. You're being blessed by having nonstop, frequent, stable 5D high frequency energy. Take it all in. Let it happen. All right, so last energy here. All right, so I got caught off with the fourth energy, but I'm going to really summarize it real quick. We have astral travel and journey to the cosmos of the sun. Sorry, cosmos of the soul. So I definitely feel a lot of folks are going to start connecting with other dimensions more strongly, even traveling there, astral traveling, having more lucid dreams, even in meditation, or even some physically going there with, hallucinogenics, or just from your natural chemistry of the body, just because your connection to the other side is so powerful. There's going to be like highly connected folks, the Lightworkers, that unbound, releasing soul patterns, contract, and past lives. The Chariot and the Five of Cups. The Lightworkers are definitely going to be quickly moving into this energy where they're connecting to the other side much more often, and not wanting to really come back. There's going to be a lot of Lightworkers that choose to just stay in those higher energetic dimensions. There's a lot more that are going to be coming back, obviously, because of the work that needs to be done here. But some people are just going to be like, I'm done with this. Let's move on. Helping from the other side. We have like, what was it in Spider-Man? It's like, we have Spider-Man, the ones that go out and take the action, take on those challenges in the physical world, and those behind the computer assisting those that are doing that, right? Like, both are important. It's just depending on what you have been prepared for, what you excel at. So we have that for the light workers that are going to be wanting to kind of be outside of their body more, just be more in their energy. And this is a huge problem for light workers when they start off their spiritual journey and just want to stay in that energetic realm, the higher chakras, in the higher energetic, the higher frequency energy. Like, you don't really want to come back into this world, but you have to in order to integrate it and raise the consciousness of our collective soul. So there's like a little bit of going up to the higher chakras and coming back down and integrating, raising the lowest energies, right? And then going back up and then coming back down. And every time you go up, it's a little bit higher. Every time you go down, it's a little bit higher too. But then at this point, like, with the access to 5D energies and reality being so alluring and finally open, there's a lot of people who are going to be going back and forth for a little while this kind of portal is open. But people are going to intuitively know this portal is going to close eventually. The 3D and 5D Earth is basically people's consciousness choosing to go with this collective, this consciousness for humanity that wants to go into 5D living and higher, to evolve into a higher way of being. And those who will still want to go through dark energies to learn their lessons and go through what their soul needs to go through. And they will be kind of removed to another world where they can continue, another Earth where they can continue going through those, like, needing that dark energy, that polarization to learn the lessons. You can continue learning your lessons and growing and being more creative and connecting to spirit more and going, like, without having to have darkness. But for a lot of us souls, like, we decide to go through that darkness because it helps us grow so much faster, and it helps us grow in ways that makes it easier for us to see the black and white difference. But you can definitely keep growing your soul without that darkness. But to get to that level, you have to have a higher level of consciousness. So there's folks that want to be like, yeah, we want to grow, live our world in a better world and still keep growing and learning, but without the darkness, without needing that kind of duality energy. And then there are going to be souls who are going to be like, yeah, we still want to have that experience because it's helping us still grow and learn. That's the 3D and 5D split, right? So then for those that are not awakened or just awakening to their journey, because we had like a ton of timeline switches, right? To the point where most of the people that you encounter have chosen to kind of go through the awakening process, right? We got Beauty, the Star, and the Page of Snow emerge. And so there's going to be a huge emphasis on beauty. Beauty is very divine, not just beauty of a person. Every person is beautiful in their own way, but also beauty in your environment, in your decor, in your community, in, the spaces that you inhabit, the architecture of that, the way things are designed, like in the community, urban design, but also the design of schools and homes and, pots and pans and mugs and, all sorts of pottery and, landscaping. And like, there's so many, when you see something beautiful, it touches a divine part of you. And it also very much connects to very, like people who might have been in really superficial or really 3D energies. So we saw that in the beginning, people are going to be connecting to health because it's something that everyone can kind of get on board with. And beauty is also another way to kind of start the spiritual process, especially if you've been in very, very low frequency energy, very dark energies, very superficial or 3D or just physical minded energies. This is a great stepping stone, like, you know, food and beauty, right? Health and beauty. And so it's people are going to be really looking at like deep inner beauty, like, and it's going to exude outward, but you're going to see people who are going to make a movement to no makeup, which I was so for like 5-10 years ago, but I'm just like, I love the idea, but I'm not going to start it. Whoever's going to start it, like, you know, because we're so used to seeing people with makeup and considering them beautiful, in which they are. They have this outform and enhancing features and putting color on your face that obviously is very appealing and looks good. But it's kind of like getting back to nature, like seeing like how the natural form is also very beautiful instead of the like more dressed up form all the time, you know. Like seeing like a natural field of flowers, for example, versus a garden that has been curated with the top 50 roses from around the world or something. Like, you know, both are very beautiful, obviously, but one was kind of curated by human hands and one was, you know, made by nature, and like both are beautiful, but so there's going to be like a kind of wave to incorporate more just naturally occurring beauty into people's individual lives. For example, if there's a tree, a beautiful, magnificent tree that has been there for hundreds of years, like not cutting it down, but creating a home around it or something like that, you know? So you're going to see it in the beauty industry. Yeah. It's been dying down, like on YouTube, like people are seeing how superficial it is and how you don't want to give your power to these people who are not the best people to be influencers, you know, maybe in that specific niche of makeup, but as people, probably not good people to be, you know, influencing society, right? But you are going to see people like this page of snow, the page of swords emerge, wanting to emerge into more natural things, and we see that with food, and we're going to see that with beauty and the structure of society a little bit more too. So Spirit's advice here is weird is the new cool. Boldly express your uniqueness. And unexplained wonder. Magical blessings and miracles are occurring in your life. All your prayers are being answered now. So weird is the new cool. So I'm getting like, you know, there's a whole, you know, counterculture movement that's always been going on in every decade. There's in every generation. There's always a counterculture, rebellious, you know, folks that challenge the social norms in fashion and behavior and whatever, right? But I feel like there's going to be a new counterculture coming through with beauty and food, specifically starting in December. Like, I think people are going to be so fed up and they're like, what can we do? And this is like something that everyone can kind of jump on board with. And it's also something enough for the normies to kind of resonate with, because it's only just like a step, like taking baby steps into 5D. And if this is a good starting point for them, like that's great. Like whatever helps them move into a more conscious way of living, that's great. Whereas for Lightworkers, I feel like the unexplained wonder, I feel like you're stepping into the 5D energy, right? While it always kind of works in like, you know, the divine feminine takes a step, the divine masculine. Divine feminine takes a step, the divine masculine does. So it's always kind of like the spiritual and emotional steps, the energetic steps that happen first, and then like the physical action and, you know, the effects of those actions that follow afterwards, right? So I definitely feel like the Lightworkers are definitely moving into more 5D energies, and we talked about this. Yeah, 5D is like a state of mind, but it doesn't have to be just the state of mind. It can be it can be your reality, it can be your environment. You can have 5D energy, like higher frequency energy, materials around you, people around you, creative projects around you, daily routines around you. So you can step into the 5D literally, physically, but we're going to have to build it. And it starts with being in that 5D energy more consistently, like thinking 5D, thinking high frequency more often, and then aligning with that in our lives. So you're going to see a lot of light workers start planning for 2025, 2026, 2027. They're going to be planning and building their own homes, their own communities, their own networks with other like-minded, beautiful souls, and physically creating a sanctuary in their home, in their communities, so they can keep being in that high frequency energy, that 5D energy more consistently. And so you're going to see this kind of like rapid expansion into light workers kind of building a bigger network and a bigger, even physical home. All right, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for connecting with me. You're my soul fam. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. I hope you have a beautiful December. I know you will. Much love and light.